Hello and welcome to our new episode of Nihao Europe. This time we're going on a journey into space.
On October 16th, Chinese astronauts Zhai Zhigang, Wang Yaping, and Ye Guangfu made their trip to the core module of China's space station successfully. The mission Shenzhou 13 is the second of the 4 manned missions for the construction of China's space station Tiangong. The trail is expected to stay in orbit for 6 months, which will be a regular duration for following taikonauts to work and live in the space station. In its manned space exploration, China plans to carry out more extensive and in-depth international cooperation on its space station.
Did you realize that, given the fact that the space station has been up and running for more than 20 years now, since the late 20th century, there was not a single second while all humans were walking on Earth at the same time, because there's always been a presence in space. When we had the first suborbital commercial flights there were 16 people in space at the same time, including the 3 taikonauts, the astronauts of the Chinese space station. So I think we're just getting into a situation where we say, this sounds like science fiction, but this is real now. Not only the Chinese space ambitions are out of this world, but also other agencies like the European Space Agency, NASA, and many other countries are setting their goals far beyond the Earth orbit. So actually, China is one of the primary partners, one of the nations taking the ambitions far beyond Earth orbit, and that also means setting your eyes not only on the moon, but probably also on Mars in the future.
With international cooperation becoming increasingly important in future research in outer space, China has pledged to build its space station into a space lab, which aims to benefit all people around the world and welcome extensive international projects in deep space exploration.
One organization that keeps a close eye on the activities in space is the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, based in Vienna. We now switch to the UNO city in Vienna to the director of UNOSA, Simonetta Di Pippo. Well, thanks for being with us on the program today.
My pleasure. Well, the activities in space, in this specific case in low Earth orbit, so in microgravity conditions, allow a lot of experiments both inside and outside a space station, with covering a certain number of different fields, which can bring benefits to improve the quality of life of citizens on Earth. And we have the China space station upcoming, and we have since long an agreement with CMSA, the China Manned Space Agency, to conduct experiments from all over the world in the China space station as soon as it's ready to host them. And this has been done through a memorandum of understanding, great support from China on this. And also we recently, a couple of years ago, selected 9 experiments, which is a huge number of experiments, based on a scientific value, their scientific value, through a competitive process that we, the Office for Outer Space Affairs, were in charge of. So it's really interesting collaboration, and we cannot wait to see the future of the China space station and our experiments on board.
By working together, China is also facilitating the Access to Space for All initiative by sending open invitations and welcoming its international partners to join its space mission. So far, many training programs are underway. Back in 2017, Samantha Cristoforetti and Matthias Maria, 2 European astronauts, joined Chinese technauts for a 9-day sea survival training program, a crucial step towards a long-term collaboration between the European Space Agency and China Manned Space Agency in an attempt to fly European astronauts together with taikonauts to the Chinese space station.
I was personally fairly surprised to see on the training schedules a couple of years ago the first Mandarin language courses in Cologne, which is the home to the European astronaut corps of the European Space Agency. I think we're going to see European astronauts also on board the marvelous piece of Chinese engineering of the Tiangong station, but it's only a matter of when it's going to happen. I think that we're going to see this in the next few years, and maybe this is only the start of future bilateral collaborations which will take us beyond Earth orbit to the moon or maybe even to Mars.
On the other hand, the trip to Mars is approaching fast. China's spacecraft Tianwen-1 landed a rover on Mars this year to study the Martian atmosphere, and the rover could further pave the way for human missions to Mars.
The Tianwen has two components. One is an orbiter that runs around Mars and looks into the atmosphere of Mars and to remnant fields and everything about there, but also is used for communication with the lander. Though the orbiter also has a magnetometer, and we kind of did consultations for the design of the magnetometer. It was built in China with parts from Germany, for example, but we helped in the design, in the initial design, and for that the Austrian flag is even, or was, on the launcher of the Tianwen mission when it took up into space. It's much better to work together with other countries, with scientists from other countries, because you can achieve more. You have more brains to work on the things, more technicians, engineers to work on those, and it becomes more and more necessary.
According to China National Space Administration, China is not only promoting international cooperation in peaceful exploration and utilization of outer space, but also offers assistance to other developing countries, helping them monitor natural disasters like forest fires and floods. China is also planning to conduct deep space exploration, including exploring asteroids and the Jovian system, collecting samples from Mars and exploring the polar region of the Moon. While China is making all the efforts exploring into deep space, it has always stood for international space collaboration based on equality, peaceful utilization, as well as inclusive development, and keeping its space station open to all collaborative projects from the international community.
Well, that was our trip to space. So see you next time in Nihao Europe.